Part 6, Introduction, Chapters 1 and 2, of the Kama Sutra. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain and is read by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. The Kama Sutra by Vatsyayana, Part 6, about courtesans. Introductory remarks. This Part 6, about courtesans, was prepared by Vatsyayana from a treatise on the subject that was written by Dattaka for the women of Pataliputra, the modern Patna, some 2,000 years ago. Dattaka's work does not appear to be extant now, but this abridgment of it is very clever and quite equal to any of the productions of Émile Zola and other writers of the realistic school of today. Although a great deal has been written on the subject of the courtesan, nowhere will be found a better description of her belongings, of her ideas, and of the working of her mind, than is contained in the following pages. The details of the domestic and social life of the early Hindus would not be complete without mention of the courtesan, and Part 6 is entirely devoted to this subject. The Hindus have ever had the good sense to recognize courtesans as a part and portion of human society, and so long as they behaved themselves with decency and propriety, they were regarded with a certain respect. Anyhow, they have never been treated in the East with that brutality and contempt so common in the West, while their education has always been of a superior kind to that bestowed upon the rest of womankind in Oriental countries. In the earlier days the well-educated Hindu dancing girl and courtesan doubtless resembled the hetera of the Greeks, and being educated and amusing, were far more acceptable as companions than the generality of the married or unmarried women of that period. At all times and in all countries there has ever been a little rivalry between the chaste and the unchaste. But while some women are born courtesans, and follow the instincts of their nature in every class of society, it has been truly said by some authors that every woman has got an inkling of the profession in her nature, and does her best, as a general rule, to make herself agreeable to the male sex. The subtlety of women, their wonderful perceptive powers, their knowledge and their intuitive appreciation of men and things are all shown in the following pages, which may be looked upon as a concentrated essence that has been since worked up into detail by many writers in every quarter of the globe. Chapter 1. Of the causes of a courtesan resorting to men, of the means of attaching to herself the man desired, and of the kind of man that it is desirable to be acquainted with. By having intercourse with men, courtesans obtain sexual pleasure, as well as their own maintenance. Now when a courtesan takes up with a man from love, the action is natural, but when she resorts to him for the purpose of getting money, her action is artificial or forced. Even in the latter case, however, she should conduct herself as if her love were indeed natural, because men repose their confidence on those women who apparently love them. In making known her love to the man, she should show an entire freedom from avarice, and for the sake of her future credit she should abstain from acquiring money from him by unlawful means. A courtesan, well dressed and wearing her ornaments, should sit or stand at the door of her house, and without exposing herself too much, should look on the public road so as to be seen by the passers-by, she being like an object on view for sale. Footnote. In England the lower classes of courtesans walk the streets. In India and other places in the East they sit at the windows or at the doors of their houses. End footnote. She should form friendships with such persons as would enable her to separate men from other women, and attach them to herself, and repair her own misfortunes, to acquire wealth, and to protect her from being bullied, or set upon by persons with whom she may have dealings of some kind or another. These persons are the guards of the town, or the police, the officers of the courts of justice, astrologers, powerful men or men with interest, learned men, teachers of the 64 arts, pithamardas or confidants, vitas or parasites, vidushakas or jesters, flower sellers, perfumers, vendors of spirits, washermen, barbers, and beggars, and such other persons as may be found necessary for the particular object to be acquired. The following kinds of men may be taken up with simply for the purpose of getting their money: men of independent income, young men, men who are free from any ties, men who hold places of authority under the king, men who have secured their means of livelihood without difficulty, men possessed of unfailing sources of income, men who consider themselves handsome, men who are always praising themselves, one who is a eunuch but wishes to be thought a man, one who hates his equals, one who is naturally liberal, one who has influence with the king or his ministers, one who is always fortunate, one who is proud of his wealth, one who disobeys the orders of his elders, one upon whom the members of his caste keep an eye, the only son whose father is wealthy, an ascetic who is internally troubled with desire, a brave man, a physician of the king, previous acquaintance. On the other hand, those who are possessed of excellent qualities are to be resorted to for the sake of love and fame. Such men are as follows: men of high birth, learned, with a good knowledge of the world, and doing the proper things at the proper times; poets, good story-tellers, eloquent men; energetic men, skilled in various arts, far-seeing into the future, possessed of great minds, full of perseverance, of a firm devotion, free from anger, liberal, affectionate to their parents, and with a liking for all social gatherings, skilled in completing verses begun by others, and in various other sports, free from all disease, possessed of a perfect body, strong, and not addicted to drinking, powerful in sexual enjoyment, sociable, showing love towards women and attracting their hearts to himself, but not entirely devoted to them, possessed of independent means of livelihood, free from envy, and last of all, free from suspicion. Such are the good qualities of a man. The woman should also have the following characteristics: she should be possessed of beauty and amiability, with auspicious body marks. She should have a liking for good qualities in other people, as also a liking for wealth. She should take delight in sexual unions resulting from love, and should be of a firm mind, and of the same class as the man with regard to sexual enjoyment. She should always be anxious to acquire and obtain experience and knowledge, to be free from avarice, and always have a liking for social gatherings and for the arts. The following are the ordinary qualities of all women: to be possessed of intelligence, good disposition, and good manners; to be straightforward in behavior and to be grateful; to consider well the future before doing anything; to possess activity; to be of consistent behavior, and to have a knowledge of the proper times and places for doing things; to speak always without meanness, loud laughter, malignity, anger, avarice, dullness, or stupidity; to have a knowledge of the Kama Sutra, and to be skilled in all the arts connected with it. The faults of the women are to be known by the absence of any of the above mentioned good qualities. The following kinds of men are not fit to be resorted to by courtesans: one who is consumptive, one who is sickly, one whose mouth contains worms, one whose breath smells like human excrement, one whose wife is dear to him, one who speaks harshly, one who is always suspicious, one who is avaricious, one who is pitiless, one who is a thief, one who is self-conceited, one who has a liking for sorcery, one who does not care for respect or disrespect, one who can be gained over even by his enemies by means of money, and lastly, one who is extremely bashful. Ancient authors are of opinion that the causes of a courtesan resorting to men are love, fear, money, pleasure, returning some act of enmity, curiosity, sorrow, constant intercourse, dharma, celebrity, compassion, the desire of having a friend, shame,